been a certain purposeful, dynamic leadership which Mr. Modi has provided. There is no doubt that he has given a certain sense of energy to the office of Prime Minister.
The first 3 years of NDA have been largely corruption and scam-free, and that gives the people of the country a lot of hope and confidence.
Politically, he seems unassailable. His credibility levels are at an all-time high, and the opposition stands decimated.
Not just in terms of communication, but in terms of constantly being virtually on the road, announcing something new, something different, giving a sense of positivity to government and governance. I think that's been the great strength of this government. And I think there has been a conscious attempt to move from outlays to outcomes. And I think that's important for any government to focus on outcomes, not just on outlays. And I think Mr. Modi, with his positive energy, has given a sense of dynamism to the entire central government process. That's the good. The thing about Mr. Modi is that he never leaves any space for the opposition. He will take on corruption through demonetization, take on black money. He will say, I'm pro-poor, soil card scheme, Ujjwala scheme. He will show muscular diplomacy, surgical strikes against Pakistan. He will reach out to young India, start up India, stand up India. He will reach out to business and talk about Make in India. If I'm an opponent of Mr. Modi, where do I hit him if on every issue he's appropriating the credit to himself or taking over that space? He's very successful at that.
He's perhaps one of the most hardworking prime ministers that India has had. He has a very clear vision and direction in which he wants India to go. He has the people behind him, obviously, as we've seen in the UP elections. And he also is a very hands-on prime minister. He's not just content in giving the big idea, but he follows through with implementation. And I think that's very important in a country where delivery has always been lacking.
Where, having realized that there was this image being cast of him as Soot Boot Ki Sarkar, Mr. Modi consciously looked for pro-poor schemes, some of which, like the soil card scheme for farmers or the Ujjwala scheme for providing LPG, for providing kerosene stoves at cheap rates, have been pretty successful. These are, or at least have given the impression to a large number of people that here is a prime minister who's also thinking about the poor.
By focusing on infrastructure, which is roads, housing, rail, transport and shipping, I think he's building a network that will catapult us in terms of both manufacturing and the economy itself into possibly what he's desiring, a developed country. So I think he's got the directions clear, and that's very good about it. I think the foreign policy issues had a direction. Even on Pakistan, while he made the efforts and then got tough with them on the surgical strike, demonstrating that they could go this far and no further, he also started building what we call a ring around Pakistan, which is befriending the Middle East countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iran. We've sort of repaired relations, really good relations with Afghanistan now, and the Central Asian. So you're building a ring of essentially Islamic countries, but then putting pressure on Pakistan to mend its way. So I think there was a strategy on that.
And I think purely for his ability to take risks in the context of demonetization, you'll have to give him very high marks. And I think he also was able to send out a certain fear factor amidst those who hold large amounts of black money. And I think for that, you have to give him strong, good marks.
Politically, Narendra Modi and the BJP appear unassailable at the moment. Whatever he and Amit Shah touch turns into gold.